Hey you guys, so we are well over a week in Habit Train 2.0, and one of our habits this next 4 weeks is not consuming any added sugar. And so this is one of those habits that I actually really enjoy pointing out to people, because it is amazing once you actually start to read food labels just how much sugar is added into products that we consume on a regular basis, and oftentimes products that you would not even think would have added sugar. Or you look at the back of an ingredients list like salsa and you're like, why does this product need to have added sugar? And it's almost like super frustrating. So one of the things I hope that everyone takes from this is just reading labels more. Every time I go to the store, I am consistently turning products over, looking at the ingredients label, looking what's in there, looking at the order of the ingredients label, because little fun fact, the order in which an ingredients label is listed is based on the amount. So the first ingredient is going to be the ingredient that there is the most of within that product. So another tricky way that they actually will add more sugar into your products is by using different types of sugar. Say they use like table sugar or high fructose corn syrup or maltodextrin, or they use multiple different names and different sources of sugar, so that way they can put it maybe further down the ingredients list, because they're using smaller amounts, but it's just different types of sugar, which when it all boils down, like, sugar is sugar. Sure, there's definitely like honey and maple syrup and sweeteners of that nature that maybe are more natural sources and less processed, but sugar is still sugar at the end of the day. So reading labels is one of the habits that I hope you guys all take away from Habit Train 2.0. And I also wanted to just shed a little light on one of the reasons why sugar is actually included in so many of our products. And that's because they have researchers and they have people that are working around the clock essentially to make products more addictive. And one of the ways that they do that is by adding sugar into their products. And so the more sugar we eat, the more we crave it. And then by default, the more we eat of those products that have added sugar. So these are foods that are usually highly processed, right? And so they're made to be very addictive. So this is another reason why, if you stick to more of a whole foods diet, meaning you consume less foods that have ingredients lists, less foods that even have a nutrition label, so just like whole foods that have like one ingredient, the better off we are, right? I don't think anyone has ever been like addicted to like carrots, or sitting and like they say that they just can't stop eating a bag of carrots, right? Because naturally in its whole food form, it is very satiating. So no one's ever going to sit down and overeat, right? Like a bag of carrots. And if you have, then maybe you're the exception on that rule. But I did want to share with you a podcast that is pretty brief. She shares a lot of information in a short period of time, and she also cites all of the studies in which she's kind of talking about, and they're also listed at the bottom. So if you want to dive a little bit deeper into those, but it's all about refined sugar and the effects that refined sugar has on our health, on our body, all the way from actually increased risk of cancer to aging, to cellular damage, to increased risk for type 2 diabetes. It's pretty wild, the stretch that in the impact that refined sugar and added sugar has on our health. So I'm going to link it in the notes on Sugar WOD today, so that you guys can go and listen to that when you have a chance. If you skip ahead to like a minute 15 is when it actually starts sharing information. The first like a minute 15 is some like ads for her podcast essentially, but she's great. She's very knowledgeable, and she also cites the studies that she is speaking about, and then she also lists them down in resources at the bottom of her podcast.